very good morning to all listeners. My name is Divash and you are listening to BHF Radio, and you will have the pleasure of my company up until 1 p.m. this afternoon. And I've got a super show lined up for you today. This weekend's weather outlook. So, high pressure will be building today, bringing a dry and fine day for most. Sunday will be a little bit wet and unsettled again as low pressure moves in from the southwest. Top temperatures will be around 12 degrees Celsius, and it will be rather chilly at night, with the lowest being 2 degrees. All in all, make the most of the sun this weekend. That's all I'm going to say. I have had a lot of enjoyment preparing this show over the course of this week, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it. How's your week been? Mine has been rather busy, rather hectic, but never too hectic to unwind and present to you guys on a Saturday morning. So I celebrated my birthday this week, very low-key, the way I like it. And once again, I am continuing the low-key birthday celebrations with my nearest and dearest, as in you, the listeners. I've got a great show lined up for you guys today, and here's a sneak peek of what we're going to listen to today.
टीवी पे ब्रेकिंग न्यूज हर मेरा घाघरा है बगदाद से लेके दिल्ली आगरा टीवी पे गजरा रे तेरे कारे नैना मेरी नैना जुड़वा नैना गजरा बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया ये बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया हुस्न का आशिक हुस्न का दुश्मन साहिब ने बुलवाया हाजिर हूँ मैं आया हूँ यारों का मैं यार दुश्मनों का दुश्मन.
Did you in the process fall in love with him?
Absolutely, duh, that's a dumb question.
What have you been drinking before this?
I had 2 glasses of champagne.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
So what is your take on this commercial cinema?
No, I don't think there's any necessity to have a debate on this. I'm saying as a learning graph, because I find it very unusual the way you react to any situation. Like right now, the way you're looking at me. It's seriously, it's a great learning. It's very difficult to do that. To not move any muscle on your face or on your body, and just keep looking, and be able to convey so many feelings is a tough job. It's a quality that you have.
But I mean, like being an artist, how can you be inspired or create or be somebody new if the spaces around you and your surrounding is not changing? Don't you want to go and rejuvenate yourself, take something from places and people?
What is to guarantee that, wherever I travel, it will help me rejuvenate? I could be rejuvenating right here, right now.
But don't you want to interact with new people? Because you don't really get out much of your house, right?
That's okay. I meet them on television, on media, on social media.
All that plus much more wholesome entertainment in your favourite Divash's Bollywood Bites. Now last week I presented my initial songs in my jingle at the beginning of the show as to what I was going to present, and I got so carried away in the presentation of Akshay Khanna's interview, my review of Sharmaji Namkeen and the film Anand, that I missed out one particular track. So I put that song as a priority for today's show to be my first song. Together with that, I will be giving my review of this film straight after the track. From the 2007 movie, Salame-Ishq.
तेरी आंखों के मतवाले काजल को मेरा सलाम, जुल्फों के काले काले बादल को मेरा सलाम। हो तेरी आंखों के मतवाले काजल को मेरा सलाम, जुल्फों के काले काले बादल को मेरा सलाम। घायल कर दे मुझे यार तेरी पायल की झनकार, सोनी सोनी तेरी सोनी हर अदा को सलाम। सलामे इश्क 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 सलामे इश्क, सलामे इश्क 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 सलामे इश्क, सलामे इश्क सलामे सलामे इश्क सलामे, सलामे इश्क सलामे सलामे इश्क सलामे।
सलामे इश्क 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 सलामे इश्क, सलामे इश्क 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 सलामे इश्क, सलामे इश्क सलामे सलामे इश्क सलामे, सलामे इश्क सलामे सलामे इश्क सलामे। जहाँ वार दूं मेरे वादे पे कर ले यकीन, कह रही है ज़मीं कह रहा आसमां तेरे जैसा दूजा नहीं। ऐसे जादू ना डाल दे ना आऊं मैं तेरे नाल दे, छोटी तारीफें छोड़ दे अब दिल मेरे दिल से जोड़ दे। ओ जो भी है दिल से निकली उस दुआ को सलाम, सलामे इश्क सलामे इश्क 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 सलामे इश्क, सलामे इश्क 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 सलामे इश्क, सलामे इश्क सलामे सलामे इश्क सलामे, सलामे इश्क सलामे सलामे इश्क सलामे।
तुझसे है इल्तिजा, माफ कर दे मुझे, मैं तो तेरी इबादत करूं। है मेरी सोनिए ना खबर है तुझे, तुझसे कितनी मोहब्बत करूं।
तेरे बिन सब कुछ बेनूर है, मेरी मांग में तेरा सिंदूर है, सांसों में यही पैगाम है, मेरा सब कुछ तेरे नाम है।
ओ धड़कनों में रहने वाली सोनिए को सलाम।
सलाम इश्क।
तेरी आंखों के मतवाले काजल को मेरा सलाम, जुल्फों के काले काले बादल को मेरा सलाम।
ख्वाबों में खो गई मैं, दीवानी हो गई मैं।
ओ सोनी सोनी तेरी सोनी हर अदा को सलाम।
सलाम इश्क 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 सलाम इश्क, सलाम इश्क 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 सलाम इश्क, सलाम इश्क सलाम, 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 सलाम इश्क सलाम।
Presenting the vocals of Sonu Nigam, Shreya Ghoshal, Kunal Ganjawala and Sadhna Sargam from that 2007 film Salaam-e-Ishq. And what a star cast this film had. Now, even though it was a box office disaster, I actually really enjoyed this film. So, Salaam-e-Ishq, translated as Salutation to Love, is this 2007 romantic drama directed by Nikhil Advani, the same person that directed the film Kal Ho Na Ho, and it featured an ensemble cast of Salman Khan, Priyanka Chopra, Anil Kapoor, Juhi Chawla, Akshay Khanna, Aisha Takia, John Abraham, Vidya Balan, Govinda, Shannon Ezra, Sohail Khan and Isha Kopikar in the lead roles. And what happens is that the film weaves 6 love stories together thanks to the relationships of the people within it. Now, as I said, this film was Nikhil Advani's second directorial venture after Kal Ho Na Ho, and it is the unofficial remake of the Hollywood film Love Actually of 2003. Now, with the film's ensemble star cast, I would say that more is merry. Excess is fun, but the key to all of this is balance. And alas, director Nikhil Advani is no juggler. He manages to throw half a dozen balls in the air, but by the end of the film, he ends up even catching those balls. Now, considering Salaam-e-Ishq could have stood out even more, this star-studded movie does entertain. Now, there are 6 storylines, parallel but not interwoven, and eventually some of these storylines become loosely connected to each other. However, every story has its own motive and mood, and the switch from one track to another is quite simultaneous, and this jump of sequences from Agra to Delhi to London to Mumbai is at all times very stylish. So the film opens with the most romantic pair of the ensemble, John Abraham and Vidya Balan, and they play Ashutosh and Tehzeeb, a happily married Hindu-Muslim couple working in the same news channel. They share an incredible chemistry and enormous love for each other, but a tragedy proves to be a dent on their blissful existence. Next, we have Raju, played by Govinda, the quintessential Bollywood cabbie. Eloquent, lyrical, and he is a golden-hearted dreamer. And his lifelong fantasy involves a gaudy man walking into his taxi and them both living happily ever after. One such fair female, Stephanie, played by Shannon Ezra, does land in Delhi, but only in search of her pampered Indian boyfriend.
Madam!
I don't know what's going on. I can't get through. I need to go to Udaipur to see Rohit.
Yes. वो कल परमिट आ रहा है, परसों उदयपुर गोइंग.
Permit?
हाँ.
But I need a visa. I need a visa to get to Udaipur.
मैडम, कल परमिट कमिंग. नहीं परमिट तो पुलिस पैसा. मनी.
I don't have any money. I can't get to Udaipur and I can't see.
ए गुड्डी गुड्डी इधर आ, इधर देखो अंग्रेजी आती है तो नहीं, इनको बोलो कि हमने गाड़ी का बंदोबस्त कर लिया है, कल परमिट मिलेगी, परसों इनको लेके हम उदयपुर जाएंगे। चल बोलो।
Good afternoon. Tomorrow I'll take you to Udaipur in a car.
Why is he coming?
वो पूछ रही है तुम क्यों जाओगे इसके साथ?
उसको बोलो आखिर इस बांडलिटी भी कोई चीज होती है।
अरे तुम हिंदी में बोलो ना यार, गुटिया ना अंग्रेजी में समझाने के लिए।
हाँ तो उसको समझाओ कि पैसा नहीं है उसके पास, वो जाएगी कैसे?
You have no money.
Yep.
That's why I'll be going with you.
Meanwhile, we also have the story of London suburbanite Vinay Malhotra, played by Anil Kapoor, who finds himself lusting after a pretty young thing, played by Anjana Sukhani, who conducts Bollywood dance classes. Obviously, dutiful wife Seema, played by Juhi Chawla, is not too glad about her hubby's naughty at 40 ways. Neither are we. Imagine Anil Kapoor without his moustache, in camouflage jackets and cargo pants, trying to break dance in a nightclub. Doesn't work.
विनय, तुम मेरा फोन क्यों नहीं उठा रहे?
अंजलि मैं तुम्हें फोन करने ही वाला था।
विनय प्लीज, डोंट लाई टू मी।
आई एम नॉट लाइंग टू यू अंजलि, आई एम नॉट लाइंग टू यू। बहुत कुछ हो रहा है, मुझे थोड़ा वक्त चाहिए। आई नीड सम टाइम।
मेरे पास वक्त नहीं है विनय, मैं पेरिस जा रही हूँ, मुझे डांस स्कॉलरशिप मिली है। कम विद मी।
रिलैक्स अंजलि, क्या कह रही हो तुम? मेरा काम है यहाँ, फैमिली है, घर है, मेरी लाइफ है यहाँ।
ऐसी लाइफ जीना चाहते हो तुम?
मुझे नहीं पता मैं क्या चाहता हूं। मेरी तो समझ में नहीं आता मैं क्या करूं, क्या कहूं।
कुछ मत कहो विनय, बस अपने दिल की सुनो। वही जो मैंने सुना है, जो मैंने देखा है। तुम्हारी आंखों में मैंने हमेशा वो इंसान देखा है जो जिंदगी से बहुत कुछ चाहता है। मैं तुम्हें वो सब कुछ दूंगी विनय।
प्लीज प्लीज अंजलि।
विनय, इट्स पेरिस विनय, द सिटी ऑफ लव। और बस सिर्फ तुम और मैं। प्लीज विनय, कम विद मी। प्लीज विनय, प्लीज विनय। पापा का फोन आया था, जिया की शादी हो रही है, मैं टिकट्स कलेक्ट करने आई थी, पर शायद तुम कहीं और ही जा रहे हो।
High society younguns Shiven, played by Akshay Khanna, and Jia, played by Aisha Takya, have just become engaged. Already their wedding seems to be in jeopardy thanks to Shiven's acute commitment phobia. He tries every trick in the book to hilarious effect to push Jia away towards a breakup, and he succeeds. But is this what he really, really wants?
Jia, you know I love you, right? मैं शादी नहीं कर सकता। I can't do it. I'm such a nice guy. Do you want to trap me? No, ना। देखो, शादी हुई तो मुझे कोई तकलीफ नहीं होगी, पर बेबी तुम बर्बाद हो जाओगी, तुम मोटी हो जाओगी, हर औरत हो जाती है, राइट जगह? अपनी माँ को देखो, फिर मैं हर वक्त चिल्लाता रहूंगा, मैं पागल हो जाऊंगा। क्या तुम वो चाहती हो? अपने बाप को देखो। Don't get married.
Now, what we don't know is why Rahul, or Raoul, played by Salman Khan, as he pronounces his name in the movie, beats around the bush so much. He courts ambitious item film actress Kamini for her popularity, and after she falls in love with him, he asks her to choose between him and a film with Karan Johar.
Will you marry me? Wait. लेकिन अगर उसी वक्त दरवाजे पे दस्तक हो तो, और अगर बाहर कामनी का सपना खड़ा हो तो, पैसा, नाम, शोहरत, एक नई जिंदगी, एक ऐसी जिंदगी जिसकी शुरुआत राहुल की मौत से होती है। अगर कामनी को राहुल और सपने में से किसी एक को चुनना हो तो।
कामनी, तुम्हारा सपना पूरा हो गया। करण जौहर ने अपनी नई फिल्म अनाउंस कर दी है। एंड यू नो व्हाट, वो तुम्हें लेने की सोच रहा है।
हमें जो भी करना है जल्दी करना।
इसका मतलब राहुल को मरना पड़ेगा।
Dilemma time for Priyanka Chopra. Salman Khan has declared his love.
Hey, घर से गुड नाइट नहीं कहोगी?
Now, in this lengthy scheme of things, Nikhil Advani, the director, incorporates a track featuring Sohail Khan and Isha Kopikar at their over-the-top best, playing a newlywed, perpetually in-the-mood couple from Haryana. The consistent mishaps foiling their attempts to be alone together are supposed to evoke laughs, and they do leave you cringing, but it is quite funny from time to time. So, I will only say one thing on this film, that its music keeps you well entertained, the track keeps you well entertained, and the star cast does. I would really encourage you to watch Salame-Ishq just to understand how all these love stories intertwine together, and it is an ode to love, and it's an ode to cinema. I hope that you enjoyed my review, and I urge you all to watch this film if you ever want to have an unwinding night in. It's a type of film where you can leave your brains at home, but you can end up falling in love by the end of the film. The film is Salame-Ishq. And paying tribute to those beautiful three words, Salame-Ishq, I think you can guess what my next song's going to be. From that 1978 blockbuster starring Rekha and Amitabh Bachchan, the song Salame-Ishq.
हमसे प्यार
मुझसे सुन सुन के तेरी नजर डब डबा जाएगी बात दिल की जो अब तक तेरे दिल में थी मेरा दावा है होठों पे आ जाएगी तू मसीहा मोहब्बत के मारों का है मसीहा मसीहा मोहब्बत के मारों का है तू मसीहा मोहब्बत के मारों का है हम तेरा नाम सुन के चले आए हैं अब दवा दे हमें या तू दे दे जहर तेरी महफिल में ये दिल जले आए हैं एक एहसान कर एहसान कर एक एहसान कर अपने मेहमान पर एक एहसान कर दे दुआएं तुझे उम्र भर के लिए दे दुआएं तुझे उम्र भर के लिए
सलामे इश्क मेरी जान जरा कबूल कर लो तुम हमसे प्यार करने की जरा सी भूल कर लो मेरा दिल बेचैन है हम सफर के लिए मेरा दिल बेचैन है
The vocals of Lata Ji with Kishore Kumar, with the music by Kalyanji Anandji, picturized on Rekha with Amitabh Bachchan, who will be interviewed by Ranbir Kapoor. And what a jodi Amitabh and Rekha had. Films like Do Anjane, you had Suhag, you had this film Muqaddar Ka Sikandar, and then they were portrayed on screen by Yash Chopra in the film Silsila. And there were so many stories going around about Rekha and Amitabh having an affair. Now let's examine this carefully. Rekha and Amitabh starred together in various films, from Khoon Pasina, they starred together in Do Anjane, in the film Suhag, in the film Silsila, amongst others as well. And their chemistry was highly effective. And that is the theory that Amitabh Bachchan relies on to this day. That their pairing was very good, it was very strong, but obviously the gossip mills in the magazines and the media documented and spoke about this great affair between Amitabh and Rekha. Having read a lot on this subject deeply, my sources from books reveal that there had been affairs and that Amitabh and Rekha were an item. However, let's also bear in mind that Amitabh happened to be married. He got married to Jaya Bachchan in the early 70s, and in 1973 to be exact. And at the time that these gossip mills were talking about this so-called affair, it was in the late 70s, perhaps starting from 1976. And let's bear in mind also that they had their children. So Abhishek Bachchan was born in 1976 and Shweta Bachchan was born in 1975. Predominantly during the making of Sholay, there was a pregnant Jaya Bachchan visible very much within the film. Now, after the film Silsila, there has been no on-screen jodi or film which has portrayed the love between Amitabh and Rekha. And what trivia says that during the making of Silsila, this affair was so real that there was a showdown between wife against mistress. Whether this is true or not, that would actually, if I was to say that, it would prove to be cruel journalism, something I don't believe in doing. However, the research that I have extensively conducted leads me to a very interesting conclusion. Let's analyse. Amitabh has gone on record to say that there was no affair. He claims that this story was concocted by the media at the time. We will explore this further after this song from the film Mr. Natrolal.
लोगों को कहने दो, कहते ही रहने दो, सच झूठ हम क्यों सबको बताए। मैं भी हूँ मस्ती में, तू भी है मस्ती में, आ इस खुशी में हम नाचे गाए। किसको पता, किसको पता क्या किसने किया, सब कहते हैं तूने मेरा दिल ले लिया।
सब कहते हैं मैंने तुझको दिल दे दिया। मेरा दिल कहता है तू दिल में रहता है, मेरे भी दिल की कली खिल गई है।
तेरी तू जाने रे, माने न माने रे, मुझको मेरी मंजिल मिल गई।
तू मिल गया, तू मिल गया मुझको पिया, सब कहते हैं मैंने तुझको दिल दे दिया। मैं कहती हूँ तूने मेरा दिल ले लिया। परदेसिया, परदेसिया ये सच है पिया, सब कहते हैं मैंने तुझको दिल दे दिया। मैं कहती हूँ तूने मेरा दिल ले लिया।
The vocals of Kishore Kumar with Lata Mangeshkar from the film Mr. Natwarlal, picturized on Amitabh Bachchan with actress Rekha. And my topic for this segment is whether Rekha and Amitabh had an affair together. And before this song was presented, I advised you that Amitabh Bachchan has gone on record to say that the media fabricated this story in readiness for the promotions of the film Silsila. Let's explore further. The marriage of Neetu Singh and Rishi Kapoor on the 20th of January 1980 was a big wedding. Neetu Singh's marriage to Rishi Kapoor against tough resistance from the Kapoors was certainly a special occasion for Rekha, and she chose it to make a special statement. It was also one more opportunity to display her expensive diamonds and her carefully chosen Kanjivaram silks, something she always revelled in, unable to forget the early struggle in Mumbai when she had only 2 decent saris to wear at the beginning of her career. Maybe one day her dream might come true. Her man too would own up to his relationship, but today he had arrived with his wife and greeted her as one of his co-stars. He always did that, and it always burned her. But this once, she had an answer to it. Sindoor, or red powder in the parting of her hair, the Hindu symbol of a married woman with a living husband, and a Mangal Sutra, a gold and black beaded necklace worn by married Hindu women around her graceful neck, and 2 rings, apparently gifted by him on her fingers. She stole the attention from the bride, the entire Kapoor clan, and the industry bigwigs. Her Mangal Sutra and Sindoor became the centre of attraction, and more cameras flashed on her than on the marrying couple. And with the wedding mood in mind, I present my next song from the film Silsila, picturized on Amitabh Bachchan and Rekha, the vocals of Kishore Kumar with Lata Mangeshkar. Ladki Hai Yashoda.
पहली पहली बार देखा ऐसा जलवा हो, ऐसा जलवा, ये लड़की है या शोला, ये लड़की है या शोला।
शोला है शोला, शोले से डरना, मरना तो ठंडे पानी में मरना, रहम जवानी पे खा ओ मुंडिया, रहम जवानी पे खा।
लूटे न जवानी में जो शोलों का मजा हो, शोलों का मजा, तो बोलो वो आदमी है क्या, तो बोलो वो आदमी है क्या।
आई है नई नई जुल्मी जवानी, करता है बढ़ के बातें दीवानी, खैर तू दिल की मना ओ बबुआ, खैर तू दिल की मना।
दिल जैसी चीज की मनाऊं खैर क्या, हो मनाऊं खैर क्या, मैं तो दोनों जहान से गया, ओ मैं तो दोनों जहान से गया।
जा रे शिकारी तेरा जाल पुराना, और कहीं पे जाके डाल ये दाना, चिड़िया फंसे ना लंबुआ ओ लंबुआ, उड़ी फंसे ना लंबुआ।
दूर कैसे होगा तेरा मेरा फासला, तेरा मेरा फासला, रब जाने या दिल मेरा, ओ रब जाने या दिल मेरा।
अभी तो देखा है जलवा दूर का, हाल बुरा है मेरे हजूर का, हाथ पकड़ के दिखा ओ सोनिया, हाथ पकड़ के दिखा।
पकड़ी कलाई तो न छोड़ूंगा कभी, ना छोड़ूंगा कभी, ओ सोनी ये याद रखना, ओ सोनी ये याद रखना, ओ सोनी ये याद रखना।
Now, veteran actress, journalist, and filmmaker Simi Garewal interviewed Rekha in her Rendezvous with Simi show, questioning her relationship with Amitabh Bachchan. One can see Rekha's ease when responding to the questions posed to her.
Your on-screen pairing with Amit ji in 1976, which started with Lo Anjane, and subsequently your off-screen association, came in for a lot of speculation, which has continued over the years. What did his presence bring to you professionally?
Well, as an actor, I was so-called reigning supreme. I had a ride, so to speak. And in many ways, I think I'm senior to him, you know. But standing in front of Amitabh Bachchan, the, you know, ultimate actor, was not easy.
I'm sure.
Because the moment I came to know that Amit signed for Do Anjane, I was so paranoid. Because here Divash had just released, you know, he was this phenomenal success, and everybody was like, you know, Amit.
And you didn't know him before then?
Well, I knew him as Dilibhai's husband, you know. I mean,
okay.
I mean, first, of course, boyfriend and then husband. But I didn't know him otherwise because we never really got chance to sit and talk, you know.
Okay.
But when I started working with him, I was so nervous, so nervous. I remember once, I think I marked up my lines and I was like really nervous. And he just says in this baritone voice, सुनिए कम से कम डायलॉग याद कर लीजिएगा. उसके बाद तो and then when I saw him and the way he worked and the way he was Farma Bardar as far as the director is concerned, I mean, it was all years and concentration and so much respect. I had never seen that before with anybody else. So I really learned a lot. It changed my perception about what being on the sets. It was never a playground again for me. It was just unbelievable. It was something that I had to really sit up and say, hello, what is going on here? It was just amazing. And for a girl who had no idea, you know, what professionalism is all about, what a baritone voice is all about, how perfect diction and perfect intonations and perfect attitude and personality, not to mention.
Did you pick up these things from him?
I think, really speaking, how do you learn?
By watching people.
No. Also, you have to look up to somebody.
For sure.
You have to appreciate somebody. You have to be fascinated with something which is over and above average. I'm not impressed with the ordinary.
Me too.
Mediocrity really bores me. So he was like something I'd never seen before. I have never seen him ever express pain.
And personally?
Personally, I think you can say, see, when you are fascinated by something, subconsciously, without even realizing it, you just pick up everything. And when I found this person, and I have said this before, which I've never really met anybody like him. And mind you, he's a fellow Libran.
I know.
You know, and so are you. But you are something else.
What does that mean?
Well, it's supposed to be something nice.
I hope so.
Nothing negative. No, come on. You know what I feel about you. So I said, Libra तो ठीक है. इतने सारे qualities जो special हैं, जो अल्लाह मियाँ ने बनाया है. How come it is all पूरी मार के एक के ऊपर ही बिछा दिया? How can so many good qualities be bestowed upon one human being? Not fair. People come in front of you. People come and go in your life. It is up to you to recognize who you choose to imbibe the good qualities and the better qualities, and how you want to allow that person to associate with you mentally, emotionally, physically. How much you want to learn from that person. How much you want that person to inspire you. It's all up to you. It's your choice.
So right.
It is absolutely your choice. And I am not a fool. I'm intelligent, I'd like to believe so, at least. So when I see a good thing, I can recognize it. You know?
9 films you did together.
10 actually.
That's a long association.
Oh, you can say that again.
Now, listeners, it is evident from this interview that we can see Rekha idolizes this man. She gives him so much importance, but that still doesn't reach our conclusion. Listeners, we shall reach our pinnacle of this so-called love story very soon. My next presentation is that beautiful mellow song from this film we're discussing, Silsila, and picturized by Yash Chopra, Amitabh Bachchan and Rekha, illustrating their love on screen. Were they really together? Was there an affair? Or was this simply concocted by the media? We will investigate after this song.
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए, दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए। देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए, दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए।
ये गिला है आपकी निगाहों से, फूल भी हो दरमियां तो फासले हुए।
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए, दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए। मेरी सांसों में बसी खुशबू तेरी,
ये तेरे प्यार की है जादूगरी।
तेरी आवाज है हवाओं में,
प्यार का रंग है फिजाओं में।
धड़कनों में तेरे गीत हैं मिले हुए।
क्या कहूँ कि शर्म से है लब सिले हुए।
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए,
फूल भी हो दरमियां तो फासले हुए। मेरा दिल है तेरी पनाहों में,
आ छुपा लूं तुझे मैं बाहों में।
तेरी तस्वीर है निगाहों में।
दूर तक रोशनी है राहों में।
कल अगर न रोशनी के काफिले हुए।
प्यार के हजार दीप हैं जले हुए। देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए, दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए।
ये गिला है आपकी निगाहों से, फूल भी हो दरमियां तो फासले हुए।
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए, दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए।
The vocals of Lata Mangeshkar with Kishore Kumar, picturized on my subject of this particular segment today, Amitabh and Rekha. Real life or real life? Shot at the Amsterdam Tulip Keukenhof Gardens for that 1981 controversial film, the film Silsila. You're listening to BHF Radio. My name is Divash and I'll be with you till 1 p.m. this afternoon. And here Simi Garewal continues her interview with Rekha from the year 2002, questioning her relationship with Amitabh Bachchan.
So fascinated as you were, did you in the process fall in love with him?
Absolutely, duh, that's a dumb question. I have yet to come across a single man, woman, child who can't help but fall completely, passionately, insanely, desperately, especially hopelessly in love with him. So why should I be singled out?
Yeah, but you were the one that was speculated about with him.
You want to know the truth?
Yeah.
This is headlines, okay? There was never a personal connection with him. You know? That's the truth.
Never ever?
Never ever.
Amitabh never existed in your life personally. Is that what you're saying?
In my mind, as an actor, yes, definitely.
But you've had no association with him at all. So all that, the years and years of speculations, rumors, controversies, no truth in it?
Not at all. It just doesn't happen. That's, what can I say? That's fact.
Why didn't you just come out and deny it?
It is not worth denying. Well, what do I deny? I'm not in love with him? Of course I am. What do you say? But this, I'm not going to go into being a diplomat and say, okay, there are different kinds of love. There is a mother love, and there is a sisterly love, and there is a fan love. Dunya bhar ki love aap le lijiyega, okay, and add some more, okay? I feel that for that person. Bottom line.
Really?
So that's not the point. That you don't have to be associated with that person personally.
Yeah.
You don't have to even have a conversation with the person, to be able to allow that person to have a major influence in your life.
Whether this is Rekha playing to the camera, or whether she's being candid with Simiji about her emotions, or whether this was just a publicity stunt, this still remains a mystery. I now present my next song, which is a clear illustration on screen of the love that Amitabh and Rekha shared, whether it was within the film or whether it was in real life. I present the vocals of Lata Mangeshkar together with the dialogue of Amitabh Bachchan, with the instrumentation of Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma and Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasia.
मैं और मेरी तन्हाई अक्सर ये बातें करते हैं, तुम होती तो कैसा होता, तुम ये कहती, तुम वो कहती, तुम इस बात पे हैरान होती, तुम उस बात पे कितनी हंसती, तुम होती तो ऐसा होता, तुम होती तो वैसा होता। मैं और मेरी तन्हाई अक्सर ये बातें करते हैं। ये तुम्हारी जुल्फें खुली हुई हैं, है चांदनी या तुम्हारी नजरों से मेरी रातें धुली हुई हैं। ये चांद है या तुम्हारा कंगन, सितारे हैं या तुम्हारा आंचल, हवा का झोंका है या तुम्हारे बदन की खुशबू। ये पत्तियों की है सरसराहट कि तुमने चुपके से कुछ कहा है। ये सोचता हूं मैं कब से गुमसुम कि जबकि मुझको भी ये खबर है कि तुम नहीं हो, कहीं नहीं हो, मगर ये दिल है कि कह रहा है कि तुम यहीं हो, यहीं कहीं हो।
तू बदन है, मैं हूँ छाया, तू ना हो तो मैं कहाँ हूँ। मुझे प्यार करने वाले तू जहाँ है मैं वहाँ हूँ। हमें मिलना ही था हमदम, किसी राह भी निकलते हो। हमें मिलना ही था हमदम, किसी राह भी निकलते। ये कहाँ आ गए हम, यूं ही साथ साथ चलते। मेरी सांस सांस महके, कोई भीना भीना चंदन। तेरा प्यार चांदनी है, मेरा दिल है जैसे आंगन। कोई और भी मुलायम, मेरी शाम ढलते ढलते। कोई और भी मुलायम, मेरी शाम ढलते ढलते। ये कहाँ आ गए हम, यूं ही साथ साथ चलते।
मजबूर ये हालात इधर भी है उधर भी, तन्हाई की एक रात इधर भी है उधर भी। कहने को बहुत कुछ है मगर किससे कहें हम, कब तक यूं ही खामोश रहें और सहें हम। दिल कहता है दुनिया की हर एक रस्म उठा दें, दीवार जो हम दोनों में है आज गिरा दें। क्यों दिल में सुलगते रहें, लोगों को बता दें हाँ हमको मोहब्बत है, मोहब्बत है, मोहब्बत। अब दिल में यही बात इधर भी है उधर भी।
ये कहाँ आ गए हम, यूं ही साथ साथ चलते। ये कहाँ आ गए हम, ये कहाँ आ
That finale to that song is by far the best orchestration that I have heard in the Hindi film industry of music in today's time. For me, this finale does it for me. I really enjoyed that song from the film Silsila, and this is the subject of my topic today. What significance does the film Silsila have on the relationship between Amitabh Bachchan and Rekha? Well, far away from suspicions and self-love, somewhere close and very close to trust, Hart woke up with a mirage that she loves him. Was it love or was it a dream? Amit's dream, the sequence of dreams, the sequence of love. One face, one hope, one smile. A search, a poignancy, a happiness, the world, a voice, a song. One dream, one illusion, and one faith is what describes this 1981 classic. Everything merged into a face called Chandni, played by Rekha. Chandni and Amit, between them, flowered an eloquent love and the music vibrated. Both set out step by step on a journey as co-travellers, but the ideal did not last. Amit approached Shobha to wipe her tears. He gave her all his happiness. Now he had nothing except live embers of memories. Every heartbeat of Amit was coaxing him to remember some but forget the others, and Shobha had stepped into his life. Shobha, silence personified, a summit, a worship. She was not a dream, but a reality, truth, and a faith. And Amit, Shobha, and Chandni were not just three names, but three directions, three human beings bound by love, three facets of love. Dreams of these three were scattered by the mists of life. What does it matter if some dream ends in calamity? Time cannot minimize the intensity of feelings. Distance does not strangle self-awareness, and down memory lane, the happenings of the past, on deserted paths, the forgotten promises. How can one recall? The sequence of memories began pulsating in one's veins. Each one now lived in a cloistered life, some for himself, some for others. Their decisions were dwarfed by high walls of rumination. Society imposed its own barriers. Time brooding between the past and future stood on uncertain legs, and the three of them became aware of man's insignificance in keeping the world's negation from beginning to end. Only love implies mutual trust. It is a never-ending sequence. The movie revolves around Shekhar, who is an army officer, madly in love with his sweetheart Shobha, played by Jaya Bachchan. The couple is about to get married when Shekhar, played by Shashi Kapoor in a cameo, is killed during war. Shobha is distressed and distraught because she is carrying Shekhar's baby. Shekhar's younger brother Amit is a poet and a die-hard romantic. Madly in love with Chandni, played by Rekha, upon hearing of his brother's death and Shobha's situation, he follows duty and decides to marry Shobha as his kartavya, his duty. He tells Chandni to forget him and get on with her life. Very sadly, shortly after their marriage, Shobha loses Shekhar's baby that she's carrying in an unexpected car accident. And Amit supports her throughout the incident. Time passes and Amit is still married to Shobha, but his heart still yearns Chandni. Chandni ironically happens to be married to the doctor that treated Shobha, and despite being married, their relationship is based on respect and ihsan, or a favour, not necessarily love. Now, Dr. Anand, played by Sanjeev Kumar, loves Chandni very much, but yet Chandni's heart also wants Amit, and Amit and Chandni meet by chance again, and their love blossoms.
चांदनी तुम्हारा इंतजार न करते हुए भी हर मोड़ पर तुम्हारा इंतजार किया। तुम्हारी उम्मीद न रखते हुए भी मैंने हर कदम पर तुम्हारी तमन्ना की। तुम्हें ना चाहते हुए भी मैंने तुम्हें इतना चाहा कि किसी और को जाने की आरज़ू भी न रही।
What starts out as a few discreet meetings turns into a full-fledged affair, and this drama of emotion unfolds thereafter.
क्या चाहती हैं आप? मेरे जाने से क्या होता है? उनका दामन छोड़ दीजिए। ये मेरे बस में नहीं, और जो मेरे बस में नहीं उसे मैं कैसे कर सकती हूँ? अमित मेरे पति हैं, मेरा धर्म है, वो मेरा प्यार है, और प्यार मेरी किस्मत बन चुका है।
Silsila is a gem of a movie with beautiful music and a powerful plot. The power of marriage and the strength of passion, and the passion between Amitabh and Rekha is so natural, it seems to most viewers that they didn't even act in the film. And so are those emotions that you just heard between Rekha and Jaya. Both are extremely strong actresses, and that powerful conversation scene that you just heard between them is extremely natural. This is a wonderful story of love, desire, passion, dreams, and of course, family. But we still come back to that same niggling question. Was there a rendezvous between Amitabh Bachchan and Rekha? Was it a publicity stunt, or was it made to mimic the success and influence Silsila hitting big at the box office? Or does Rekha have an infatuation towards the big B? Or rather, was there a real love story that went on?
Like you said, बचपन में कोई profound moment है. You carry that. If it's a negative moment, you become a serial killer. Yeah. You know, and he himself doesn't remember it till somebody, you know, makes him lie on the couch and say, "Okay, go back," like you just did to me. But the fact remains that it's all a choice. It's the choices that you really make that really mold you to the person that you become ultimately. And I made a choice, and I'm glad I did. Boy, am I glad.
And the choice was?
The choice was to be associated with good human being, like, oh, what more? A good human being. Well, I can go on and okay. By the way, is this a show about me or Mr. Bachchan?
No, it's very much about you. But the rumors were just going wild and left and right, and, you know, nobody ever came out with anything constructive. And which I think, you know, people needed some clarity on.
Okay.
Now, there is a very clear reason why I am exploring this on my radio show. So, for many years now, I have been studying the textbooks of Hindi cinema. Now, this film was released when I was barely 3, maybe 4 years old. But when I learnt at a young age of this affair, and I don't know why I took so much interest into it, that question was constantly niggling me. Is Amitabh Bachchan the hero that I've always looked up to, or is he a womanizer? And that is something that prompted me to explore and probe into this subject where I could. So, my sources for this are clearly watching the actual film Silsila countless times, but also the book Eureka, which is the unauthorized biography written by Mohandeep, who was at one time the chief editor of the Times of India, one of the regular dailies within the Indian subcontinent. Of course, now it's an online edition, but it's quite a prestigious post. So I had a lot of confidence in this journalist come writer. And when I read this book, I was surprised. For Mohandeep has done his research accurately. He has taken legal opinion, and he even publishes in his foreword that if the protagonist of his book wishes to take a lawsuit against any of his claims in this book, and of course he has gone back to older lovers of Rekha, such as Vinod Mehra, Kiran Kumar. He's also traced her entire childhood and biography, and he's also talked to a lot of film producers, but he could never get Rekha. Now, when this book was released, and whilst he openly challenges Rekha to bring a lawsuit against him if any of the claims are incorrect, the facts of the matter are that Rekha went and ensured that every single bookshelf from every single bookstore in the country was empty, and purchased these books and destroyed them. However, some 25 to 30 remain, and if one looks at Amazon, the cost of these books, this very simple unauthorized biography, costs around £200 plus. I am fortunate enough to have a copy of this book, and I have read it countless times, and it is well documented that this affair did take place. Furthermore, Yash Chopra has admitted it in his biography. Even more than that, so has Prakash Mehra from his biography, and these two film directors, I don't believe that they would lie. However, Mr. Bachchan has kept a dignified silence on this, and he has claimed that this was purely a publicity and media stunt. But if Mr. Bachchan's words are true, then why is it that Amitabh and Rekha have never been seen on screen after the release of Silsila in 1981? In conversation with Rekha, interviewed by Simi Garewal.
So, do you meet him?
Oh yeah, I see him lots in functions, and these days I really get to see him a lot.
At award functions
Yeah,
and things
award
like that.
functions,
And that's it, just at award functions.
That's it. That's a lot. Again, I said the moments have to be profound. You don't have to have a conversation or a rendezvous with Simi Garewal to know what Simi Garewal is all about as a person. You associate with that person in your mind, heart and soul. In my case, I'm so lucky that it's all in my mind. Because then you can go crazy with your fantasies.
What about the fact that he was a married man? How did that...
Hello, what does that make it? That doesn't make any kind of a difference. Okay, let's take a religion, for instance. Take Islam, Hinduism, or they're all religions. There's something to be respected. You can't say, ye Hindu hai, to hum usko respect nahi karenge. I mean, a rose is a rose is a rose. A human being is interesting, period. I want to be having the honor to be associated with this person. So what is stopping me? I'm not here to go and, break his home, so to speak.
No.
I'm here to be one of the lesser mortals who can just have a whiff of him and feel happy, He's a very, very special human being, in case you haven't noticed.
No, I have.
I'm sure you have.
Okay, is there a rift between you and Jayaji and Amitji because of those rumors?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Divash is much more mature, much more together. I've yet to come across a woman who's so together. She's got so much dignity, so much class. She's got a lot of strength. I admire that woman. Remember, we had an association before the so-called rumors and the media messed up the whole image. We were living in the same building. And we had a relation. She was my Didi Bhai. She still is. No matter what happens, nobody can take that away. And thank God she's realizes that too. I mean, whenever we meet, she's very sweet. She's not just civil. She's just herself.
But you think she remained unaffected by the rumors?
Absolutely.
She did.
Among others. I mean, I'm not the only one who was associated with, let's face it. There were so many other women. I mean, I'm not going to name them.
No, we weren't going to.
There were millions and millions and millions of them, and they continue to be, often on screen or whatever. But I don't think she's a petty person. I mean, I don't think she's so insecure to begin with.
No, I don't think she is either.
No.
And if a woman is secure, it's really the man has given her the security, the feeling of security.
Not necessarily.
No?
No, not necessarily. It's got nothing to do with a man. It has to be doing everything with the person that she is.
But listen, there must have been some effect of these rumors and stories, whatever we say, because if they hadn't happened, today you could have still been his co-star.
Huh? You think that's the reason he's not working with me?
Then why?
No, I don't think it's because of what a press,
Not a major thing for years.
It just so happened. If anything, it's a plain simple fact that maybe something great didn't come along.
You feel that's the only reason?
Oh yeah, I know that's the only reason.
This kind of fascination, love, hopelessness, desperateness, as you said, all these things. To have invested so much time in it and so much of yourself, is it worth it?
I have to correct you there. It wasn't so much time at all, Simi. It was a moment.
Okay.
And that moment was so profound. My life took a 360-degree turn. If it was one life-defining moment, it was when my senses registered that he is so different from everybody else. And he can be a positive influence to not only me, but the likes of me and some.
तो आप कोई मिलना जुलना नहीं है?
मिलना जुलना वही है जहाँ वहाँ मिल लिए
like strangers.
Strangers तो नहीं भैया. He's a very sweet human being. He's a wonderful, and his memory is very sharp. So whenever namaste, that one namaste says it all,
And that's enough.
That's more. Are you kidding me? If he never opened his mouth other than his dialogue ever, and never ever saw me, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's no.
Also यहाँ पे है.
And that person is totally oblivious to it. He has no clue. But I'm just one of them.
And you're happy with that?
I am thrilled. More than happy. You know why? Whatever I have made myself today is only from that one whiff that I've got. I have the power to be able to do that. And maybe it's all in the mind, it's your imagination. But that can last me a lifetime and many more lifetimes.
The films attracted, or in the past attracted, a fair degree of media attention because there were journalists who thought, oh, Amitabh and Rekha are coming together after 33 years. Now it turns out you're not actually sharing the same frame.
Yeah, she's just a small cameo in a part of. I can't reveal the story just yet, but she's part of a film which deals with Dhanush in the film. Yeah.
But why haven't both of you acted together for more than 3 decades?
We haven't had a suitable story come our way.
That's the only reason. And you'd be open to working with him?
Sure, yes, why not?
Amitabh speaks with much confidence, but that is his brand persona. Rekha sounds like a woman still in love with the big B. Obviously, this is now mimicking the filmy life to reality. However, it is more than 40 years now. They are often seen on camera at various functions, and one such function that I happened to see on YouTube was the Dada Saheb Phalke Award ceremony of the late Shashi Kapoor in 2012, where both Amitabh and Rekha blatantly ignore each other. In fact, if one watches the video, you can see that the Bachchan is giving very cold body language indeed to Rekha. There is evidently something there, but when they are seen at award functions, they very pleasantly greet each other. I believe that the reason behind this is for Mr. Bachchan to A. keep his reputation as a family man, B. the fact that his own son is in the industry, and obviously from a media perspective one knows how fiery Jaya Bachchan is, not to mention the fact that she plays a very dignified role in politics. Irrespective, my personal belief is that an affair did indeed take place, but so as to not hurt the sentiments of both protagonists, the most sensible answer has been given to protect all parties. Furthermore, the other side of the argument is very clear. We follow the professional life and the acting of our favourite actors and actresses. We, as the cinegoer or the film enthusiast, have no place to inquire about the actor's or actress's personal life, because that is their own Zaiti Mamla, their own business, which has no concern of the film enthusiast. You heard it on BHF Radio on Divash's Bollywood Bites. An explosive debate that I have been racking my brains for a number of years, and the conclusion that I reach is my own personal conclusion so as to not hurt anybody's sentiments. Of course, I also have an ambition to interview Amitabh Bachchan one day in my journalism career. You're listening to BHF Radio. The time is 11:25, and very shortly I will be playing the second segment of this show, my most exciting part, where Ranbir Kapoor interviews Amitabh Bachchan. I now present my next song from the film Ye Jawani Hai Diwani from the year 2014, picturized on Ranbir Kapoor with Madhuri Dixit.
लड़के और लड़के कहाँ से आया है रे तू, प्यारा है शक्ल से अकल का मारा है रे तू, लड़के और लड़के कहाँ से आया है रे तू, प्यारा है शक्ल से अकल का मारा है रे तू।
हाँ चल गई मेरी बातों से तू जल गई, हाँ खल गई तुझे खल गई मेरी बेपरवाही खल गई, मोहतरमा तू किस खेत की मूली है जरा पता।
टीवी पे ब्रेकिंग न्यूज हर मेरा घाघरा है, बगदाद से लेके दिल्ली वागरा, टीवी पे ब्रेकिंग न्यूज हर मेरा घाघरा है, बगदाद से लेके दिल्ली वागरा। घटा कली अदा बड़ा बेशर्म है तू तो लिखा है बड़ा, ये कमर नजर पता उम्र देखो बेरुखी पे कैसे अटका है पड़ा।
ढल गई तू शाम की तरह ढल गई, हाँ खल गई तुझे खल गई मेरी बेपरवाही खल गई, मोहतरमा तू किस खेत की मूली है जरा पता। बेमतलब की बकवास तेरा घाघरा, बगदाद हो या हो दिल्ली पाया आगरा।
टीवी पे ब्रेकिंग न्यूज हर मेरा घाघरा, बगदाद से लेके दिल्ली वागरा। हर मेरा घाघरा, मेरा घाघरा घाघरा, हर मेरा घाघरा खता इतर ऐसे बन रहा है जैसे कोई तोप है, मैं मजा सजा रजा जुआ होपलेस है तो फिर भी थोड़ी होप है।
हाँ डल गई आफत की तरह डल गई, हाँ खल गई तुझे खल गई मेरी बेपरवाही खल गई, मोहतरमा तू किस खेत की मूली है जरा पता। उड़ती फिरती अफवाह तेरा घाघरा, बगदाद हो या हो दिल्ली पाया आगरा।
the vocals of Rekha Bharadwaj together with Vishal Dadlani, with music by Pritam from that 2014 hit Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, picturized on Ranbir Kapoor with Madhuri Dixit. You're listening to BHF Radio. The time has come to 11:30 and you are listening to Divash's Bollywood Bites. Still to come is that great interview by Ranbir Kapoor of today's youngest actor going, Amitabh Bachchan. But who is Ranbir Kapoor? Well, the son of actors Rishi Kapoor and Neetu Singh, and the grandson of veteran actor, director and institution Raj Kapoor, Ranbir Kapoor pursued filmmaking and method acting at the School of Visual Arts and the Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film Institute in New York respectively. He subsequently assisted Sanjay Leela Bhansali on the making of the film Black of 2005, and he made his acting debut with Sanjay Leela Bhansali's tragic romance Sawariya, which was a critical and commercial failure. But however, Kapoor was recognised. Now he rose to prominence in 2009 with his performances in the coming-of-age film Wake Up Sid, the romantic comedy Ajab Prem Ki Gazab Kahani, and the subject title of this particular song that you're listening to in the background, the film by Yash Raj Films, Bachna Hai Hasina. The drama Rocket Singh Salesman of the Year increased his stature in the industry, and his widely seen film mostly during this period came with the political drama Rajniti of 2010. Now, the romantic drama Rockstar in 2011, Kapoor played a troubled musician, and the comedy drama Barfi, in which he played a cheerful deaf and mute man, earned Kapoor 2 consecutive Best Actor Filmfare Awards. Furthermore, a starring role opposite his then-girlfriend Deepika Padukone in the romantic comedy Ye Jawani Hai Diwani established Ranbir Kapoor as one of the leading Bollywood actors of today's era. Now, after Ye Jawani Hai Diwani in 2013, he followed this particular film with roles in a series of films such as Besharam and Tamasha, but these didn't really perform well commercially. That is, with the exception of the romance Ae Dil Hai Mushkil. This was changed in 2018 when Kapoor portrayed the role of Sanjay Dutt in Rajkumar Hirani's biopic Sanju, one of the most highest grossing Indian films of all time, for which Kapoor won another Filmfare Award for Best Actor. Now, in addition to his acting career, Kapoor supports charities and causes, and he is also a co-owner of the Indian Super League football team Mumbai City FC. Now, as of present, Kapoor has 4 upcoming projects. He will be very shortly featuring opposite his fiancée Alia Bhatt in Ayan Mukherjee's fantasy film trilogy, also starring Amitabh Bachchan, Moni Roy, the first of which is named Brahmastra. This is due to release later on in 2022 with a tentative release date of the first week of July this year. Now, Kapoor has also committed to playing a dacoit in Karan Malhotra's period adventure film Shamshera alongside Vani Kapoor and Sanjay Dutt, and he will also star with Ajay Devgan in Love Ranjan's as yet untitled action thriller. With this in mind, I present my next song, which has been performed by Ranbir Kapoor's father from the film Hum Kisi Se Kam Nahi, the song Bachna Hai Hasina, with music by Rahul Dev Burman and picturized on the charismatic, the late Rishi Kapoor.
बचना ऐ हसीनो लो मैं आ गया हे बचना ऐ हसीनो लो मैं आ गया हुस्न का आशिक हुस्न का दुश्मन अपनी अदा है यारों से जुदा है बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया है बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया हुस्न का आशिक हुस्न का दुश्मन अपनी अदा है यारों से जुदा है बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया दुनिया में नहीं है आज मेरा सा दीवाना प्यार वालों की जुबां पे है मेरा ही तराना सबकी रंग भरी आंखों में आज चमक रहा है मेरा ही नशा है बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया ए बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया हुस्न का आशिक हुस्न का दुश्मन अपनी अदा है यारों से जुदा बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया ए बचना ए हसीनो लो मैं आ गया हुस्न का आशिक हुस्न का दुश्मन
The vocals of Sumit Kumar, son of Kishore Kumar, from the 2008 second release of Ranbir Kapoor, the film Bachna Hai Hasino. And the song that you heard prior to that was the original predecessor song which influenced this song from the 1977 smash hit starring Ranbir Kapoor's father, the late heartthrob Rishi Kapoor. And I now present the most exciting element of my show today, where Ranbir Kapoor interviews none other than Amitabh Bachchan.
Uncle, I've never ever looked into your eyes because I've always been so intimate at form, and because of such an unforgettable moment for me, I'm going to try and look into your eye and speak. It still scares the shit out of me, but I will try. Just to start with, Amit Uncle, apart from the 10,000 memories I have of you as somebody who's been around you while growing up, but also as a fan of the work you do, I think the three biggest moments for me have been the moments that had you. The first one was when I had come for the shooting of Ajuba. I was really young, and I wasn't really aware of actors and what they do, and I wasn't even aware that my father was an actor. But just that image of this tall man and that kurta pajama and the sash that you were tying around your waist, when you came, it scared me so much that I had nightmares for the next 1 month.
Goodness.
Because I don't think I had seen a human being who had that presence, that magnetism that you had. That was the first.
What have you been drinking before this?
I had 2 glasses of champagne.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. I mean, why would you imagine something like this?
Second moment was that when I was in school, I was in New York, and I think for the last 20 years, there has not been 1 year that you've forgotten to wish me on my birthday. And I remember my first semester, I was in class, and you had called and you had left a message on the answering machine. And when I came home, the words that I heard is, "Hi Ranveer, this is Amitabh Bachchan calling to wish you a very happy birthday." I remember that entire semester of 4 months, that was my trump card. I showed off to every friend of mine that Amitabh Bachchan called and wished me on my birthday, and I got a lot of attention from the ladies when I was in school. And third was after school, when I had the good privilege to assist Mr. Bansali on Black. And I think more than all the years that I spent in film school and acting school, I actually got to see an artist like you live in front of me. Apart from the subtleties and the wonderful things you do in acting, just to see your childlike enthusiasm, your passion, when you did a good shot, how Abhishek used to come and used to show him, see this, what do you think? Always requesting for another take. It really instilled some amazing education in me about film, so I really want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much.
So Amit Uncle, we are here to talk about acting, and I'm really sorry that I have to share this stage with you, because no one should share this stage with you where acting is concerned. But I've been thinking about, like, what should I ask you? Should it be a generic conversation, a public-friendly conversation? But then I thought that I'll never get a moment like this, so I'm just going to ask you a few things that I wanted to know about you. So what is your take on commercial cinema? You've been part of such great commercial hits all your life, and today you see that tilt shifting, towards different kind of films which are also making money. But I, as an actor who's been working since the last 7 years, I find it very hard when people say, "Ke Ranveer, masala film karo, commercial film karo. Don't do films like, the films like I do. They don't really reach a wider audience." So what is your take on this commercial cinema?
No, I don't think there's any necessity to have a debate on this. Films are made for the box office. Every film, whether it's a so-called art film or so-called different kind of cinema, they're all made for the box office. Everybody invests a lot of money in it, and you want to look for a return. I don't really know what is a masala film and what is the other kind of film. I think audiences decide that. They like a particular film, they want to go and see it again and again. I think in the early stages, when cinema first came to India, it came as a tool to entertain people who were going to watch any form of entertainment after a hard day's work. And cinema was the only kind of entertainment that was available at that time. Now, when you slogged an entire day in the heat and the dust and whatever it is, you want to just come and sit and see something interesting, see a nice story which maybe has a moral at the end. All our stories have morals in the end. And get some music, get some pretty faces, some nice locations. And that was the intent, really. But I think when you talk about the other kind of cinema, credit should really go to the audiences of the country, because they have changed, their tastes have changed. They want to see better films. Better in the sense that they want to see something more credible rather than something more escapist. And I think a lot of that has to do with the advent of television, of internet, mobile phones, whatever you may call it. Everyone has access, as you know, to some of the latest stuff that is going on in any other part of the world. And when they can see it almost free of cost at home, why would they want to spend a lot of money to go into a theatre and see it? Right. So that has been quite challenging for some of the newcomers and the new makers. And if you're saying that the kind of cinema that you do is does not make a lot of money, you're wrong, because I think that some of your films have done huge business. And it's nothing got to do with, you know, what kind of taste you have. It's just that you want to be seen as somebody doing something credible, somebody that is seen to be doing something which everybody identifies with.
I now present a small song break with a song which commemorates the whole epitome of the Bachchans. From the film Bunty or Bubbly, picturized on Amitabh Bachchan, Abhishek Bachchan and Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. The music of Shankar Ehsaan Loy and the lyrics of Gulzar Saab.
मेरा चैन वैन सब उजड़ा, जालिम नजर हटा ले। मेरा चैन वैन सब उजड़ा, जालिम नजर हटा ले। बर्बाद हो रहे हैं जी, बर्बाद हो रहे हैं जी तेरे अपने शहर वाले। मेरा चैन वैन सब उजड़ा, जालिम नजर हटा ले। बर्बाद हो रहे हैं जी तेरे अपने शहर वाले। हो मेरी अंगड़ाई ना टूटे तू आजा, मेरी अंगड़ाई ना टूटे तू आजा।
कजरा रे कजरा रे कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना। कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना। ओ कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना। कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना।
हो मेरे नैना मेरे नैना जुड़वा नैना।
कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना।
सुर में से लिखे तेरे वादे, आँखों की ज़बानी आते हैं। हाय मेरे रुमालों पे लब तेरे बांध के निशानी जाते हैं।
ओ तेरी बातों में क़िमाम की खुशबू है, ओ तेरा आना भी गर्मियों की लू है।
ओ तेरी बातों में क़िमाम की खुशबू है, ओ तेरा आना भी गर्मियों की लू है।
आजा टूटे ना अंगड़ाई, मेरी अंगड़ाई ना टूटे तू आजा। मेरी अंगड़ाई ना टूटे तू आजा।
कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना। कजरा रे
पुरानी दिल्ली में छोड़ आए निशानी दिल्ली में पल्ली मारा से दरी बेतलक तेरी मेरी कहानी दिल्ली में ओ काली कमली वाले को याद करके तेरे काले काले नैनों की कसम खाते हैं
ओ तेरे काले काले नैनों की बलाएं ले लूं तेरे काले काले नैनों को दुआएं दे दूं
मेरी जान उदास है होठों पे प्यास है आजा रे आजा रे आजा रे
ओ तेरी बातों में इमाम की खुशबू है ओ तेरा आना भी गर्मियों की लू है
ओ तेरी बातों में इमाम की खुशबू है ओ तेरा आना भी गर्मियों की लू है
मेरी अंगड़ाई न टूटे तू आजा मेरी अंगड़ाई न टूटे तू आजा
कजरा रे
कजरा रे कजरा रे दिल कारे कारे नैना
कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना
ओ तेरे नैना तेरे नैना तेरे नैना जुड़वा नैना
तेरे नैना तेरे नैना तेरे नैना जुड़वा नैना
ओ तेरे नैना तेरे नैना तेरे नैनों में छुपके रहना
तेरे नैना तेरे नैना तेरे नैनों में छुपके रहना
ओ कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना
कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना कारे 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 नैना
People have a wonderful knack of knowing when an actor is doing well or when he's not doing well.
Right.
The fact that, you're so popular and so good is, due to the fact that the audiences like you. Irrespective of what kind of films you do. I mean, all your films I find have been, I'm saying as a learning graph because I find it very unusual the way you react to any situation, the way you look, like right now, the way you're looking at me. It's, seriously, it's a great learning. It's very difficult to do that. To not move any muscle on your face or on your body and just keep looking and be able to convey so many feelings is a tough job. You can see me using my hands in my face and I'm frowning and while I'm trying to talk to you, but I didn't see you moving your face as much as I did when you were talking about me. It's a quality that you have. A lot of it has got to do with your own face, and that's God-gifted. But I always notice that when you perform, you don't do much. But it gets conveyed. So how are you able to do that? So that's my question to you.
Wow,
because I feel that you have great movement within your eyes when you're, or just something that you do with your body. I can't put my finger in, but when I see it, I say, yeah, this is correct and this is good. So when you say that the kind of films that you worked in don't do well, I don't think it's worrisome. I don't think you should worry about that because audiences are very mature. You are brilliant, and I can say that because I see so many of your products, and I just wonder if I can sometimes emulate what you do. Seriously, it's just to remain still in a frame and not say anything, not do anything, but still. And it's not just in your films. I watch the ads that you do, and they're remarkable.
You're pulling my leg.
No, seriously, I'm telling you. I'll tell you an ad that you did where you played an old man.
Right.
You didn't say anything. There was just a whoo and a ha and a look, and that's it. But it conveyed the product, the client, everyone was happy with it. That's remarkable. I envy that because I will not be able to do that.
Thank you. So, Vandaka, I really want to know what you do at home. Like, if you're not working, are you constantly in a state of inspiration? Like, you have this other film that you're working on. You're always like, whenever somebody speaks to you, you're so aware of everything that happens in the world, about politics, about sports. Are you just constantly learning, reading stuff? Or you do you have moments where you just don't do anything, you just relax?
No, it's this mobile phone is a horror. You know, it's the moment you put it on, you want to go to Twitter, you want to go to Facebook, you want to get all kinds of news, and it's just become a habit. And once you start, scrolling, you just don't want to stop. And I feel that all our brains are exhausted with the kind of information that we keep getting.
No, Lord.
And it's just endless. And we are continuously multitasking. So if you're waiting for your window in your laptop to open or a particular site to open, you want to make a phone call, you want to attend to your mobile, you search something else. It's the continuous process.
Right.
I don't know whether it's healthy or not, but you never get a moment to stop.
So, Matangal, I've really tried to stay away from social media because I had a different take to it. I always thought that, especially for actors, we are also easily accessible, now because of our movies, because of the internet, because of, media, news channels, promotions,
airports,
ad films, airports.
Yeah.
There isn't
going in, coming out.
Yeah.
What you were wearing. This has become a problem.
Exactly.
I've got to think before I go to the airport. What did I wear? Yeah, I better wear something different, otherwise I'm going to get photographed. Yeah.
So, do you think I'm losing out? That I'm
No.
on social media?
You must do what you feel like doing.
Right.
That's also very important. I think I spoke to you once before about this. Yeah, I was. Somebody actually came and said you should have a website because there are about 100 websites in your name and they're not carrying all the right information. So they said it'll take about 6 months. It'll take you to design something. And I said, can I do something tomorrow? And they said, you can write a blog. I said, what is that? They showed me how it was done. I wrote, hello everyone, I'm on this blog and thank you so much. 2 lines. Next day I got a response. I said, my goodness, this is fantastic. So I sent a reply in my next one to this person. Next day I got 4. And this just continued. And I've now written the blog every day. It's 3,103 days non-stop today.
Wow. Every day, and you do it yourself?
Every day, I do it myself.
There is nobody else who does it for you? You
Everyone thinks I have a
time.
huge team that works with me. No. Then I went on Twitter. I'm on 2,403 days on Twitter and 1,503 days on Facebook.
Wow.
And I do it every day.
So apart from social media, what else do you do? Are you comfortable with being alone?
Yeah.
You like loneliness?
I don't say I like it. If I have company, I'll enjoy that. But if I don't, then I'm okay by myself.
And traveling, like on your time when you're not working, do you like traveling?
I would want to, but I think now I'm more comfortable at home.
But Aminathan, being an artist, how can you how can you be inspired or create or be somebody new if the spaces around you and your surrounding is not changing? Don't you want to go and rejuvenate yourself, take something from places and people?
What is to guarantee that, wherever I travel, it'll help me rejuvenate?
Just interaction.
I can just be sitting in one place. I could be rejuvenating right here, right now.
But don't you want to interact with new people? Because you don't really get out much of your house, right?
That's okay. I meet them on television, on media, on social media. I read opinions and, read their reactions to whatever topic is prominent. And I think that somehow you come to know their value, their worth, or whatever it is. So that's enough, I think.
I personally commend Amitabh Bachchan's reasoning and justification as to why he uses social media, especially at his age and at his status within his career. It is to reach out and connect with his growing fan base, and what better than to move on with the technological times. Simply commendable. You're listening to BHF Radio. My name is Divash, and you are listening to Divash's Bollywood Bites, exclusive to BHF Radio, and I will be with you up until 1 p.m. this afternoon. Ranbir Kapoor in conversation with Amitabh Bachchan. Let's take a short song break, and I present to you my next song with the vocals of Sukhvinder Singh and Shreya Ghoshal from that movie that Ranbir Kapoor won the Best Actors Award of 2019 in. It was the biopic based on Sanjay Dutt, Sanju. Kar Har Maidan Fateh.
घायल परिंदा है तू, दिखला दे जिंदा है तू, बाकी है तुझ में हौसला, तेरे जुनू के आगे अंबर पनाहे मांगे, कर डाले तू जो फैसला,
रूठी तकदीरें तो क्या, टूटी शमशीरें तो क्या, टूटी शमशीरों से ही हो, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह रे बंदे, हर मैदान फतेह,
कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह रे बंदे, हर मैदान फतेह।
इन गर्दिशों के बादलों पे चढ़ के वक्त का गिरेबा पकड़ के, पूछना है जीत का पता, जीत का पता,
इन मुट्ठियों में चांद तारे भर के, आसमां की हद से गुजर के, हो जा तू भीड़ से जुदा, भीड़ से जुदा, भीड़ से जुदा, कहने को सर्रा है तू, लोहे का छर्रा है तू, टूटी शमशीरों से ही हो,
कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह रे बंदे, हर मैदान फतेह,
कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, बंदे हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह रे बंदे, हर मैदान फतेह। तेरी कोशिशें ही कामयाब होंगी, जब तेरी ये जिद आग होगी, फूंक देगी ना उम्मीदियां, ना उम्मीदियां, तेरे पीछे पीछे रास्ते ये चल के, बाहों के निशानों में ढल के, ढूंढ लेंगे अपना आशियां, अपना आशियां, अपना आशियां, लम्हों से आंख मिला के, रख दे जी जान लड़ा के, टूटी शमशीरों से ही हो, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, बंदे हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, बंदे हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह, कर हर मैदान फतेह रे बंदे, हर मैदान फतेह।
कर हर मैदान फतेह रे बंदे, हर मैदान फतेह।
The vocals of Sukhvinder Singh with Shreya Ghoshal from the award-winning 2018 film Sanju. You're listening to BHF Radio. My name is Divash, and this is an exclusive interview from Ranbir Kapoor, who interviews Amitabh Bachchan about his career and the lessons he's learnt from his acting. Here, Kapoor questions Bachchan about the sabbatical that Bachchan took between 1991 and 1997.
But I remember once when you had taken a break from acting long back, you did take off.
Bad mistake.
For a long time, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like?
It was a mistake.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't think that I should have been away from the camera in the studio. I think every day is a great learning for all of us. And to sit back and say, you know, I'm not going to work, this is a sabbatical, is wrong, because a lot of water keeps flowing through. And the time that I took the break, I felt that even after 3 years I'll go back and I'll still be able to work and continue my job. But no, in this profession, you know better than I do that there's always somebody waiting around the corner who's better than you, better looking than you, more popular, and he will take your place.
I'm sorry, I again want to go back to this sabbatical that you had taken. Did you take it as failure, that sabbatical? Because right now when you spoke about it.
Not a failure. I just thought that it was not right. I shouldn't have been away from in front of the camera. I think working every day is a huge impetus, not just to me as a professional, but also to the craft. Because every day, I'm sure you know that we're always learning something. Meet some new people, work with new artists, work in a new surrounding, meet directors and people who you have not worked with or are young and coming up, have fresh ideas. It's a huge learning. And I think that I missed out on that completely.
So it was the fear of missing out, FOMO.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you ever deal with failure? I don't think you ever hit failure in your life.
Yeah, every day, huge failures. But
which phase was your hard phase? You had so many phases.
Every day is tough, you know, Ranbir. But I wouldn't like to, you know, categorize it. But the point is that at some point in time, you have to sit back and say, okay, I failed here, I've failed here, I've failed here. So what am I? What do I do? What can I do best? And can I go back to that? So you think and you say, okay, this is what I can do, I must get back to it. And you just start working on it. You have to work small and you have to adjust. And once you reconcile yourself with that fact, then I think it's just taking, you know, steps forward. It's pretty well known that I had a huge failure in the corporation that I began. It went bankrupt. It bankrupted me. I had no films. I had no money. A lot of legal cases. A lot of creditors who were hounding me to pay their money. It's a horrid feeling because the very people that applaud you and, you know, sing praises about you at a time when you are doing well, those very same people abuse you and you know, become very demanding. It's tough to face that. So you sit back and you think, you know, what can I do? And I said, look, I'm an actor and I should try and go back to acting. So that's what I did. So started off small, went across to ESG and said, you know, I'm without a job. I need a job. And if you've got something...
And you don't have an ego to say this to directors?
Yeah, you know, I've never been able to understand what ego means, so it's okay with me. If I don't have a job, I'll go and tell somebody. And if I need a job, I'll go and ask for it. So I just went and asked, and I got Mohabbatein, and then we started working. I don't find anything wrong with that. I don't find it embarrassing.
Not many people do that, especially someone in your position.
No, there is no position. I think you have to realize first whether you have a position. Who decides what your position is? I think you yourself know where you stand. When you do a movie, you know whether you've done well or not done well.
That's true.
And I think I think we are capable enough to understand how we have performed, and what was lacking.
So Ranbir Kapoor started his career in the film industry as an assistant director to the film Black, under the leadership of Sanjay Leela Bhansali. He regards this on-the-job experience as invaluable, as we've just heard. Let's hear some of those powerful dialogues directed by assistant director Ranbir Kapoor for the film Black.
You will learn, you will graduate. The black robe, our dream. I told him you wanted mission in arts and not science.
39, 40.
No, she disagrees. She disagrees with the poet. आँखें सपने नहीं देखती, मन सपने देखता है. मैं आँखों से देख नहीं सकती, फिर भी मैं सपने देखती हूँ. हमारा सपना है कि मैं ग्रेजुएट हूँ.
उंगलियां मिस्टर मैकनेल. ये अंधों की आंखें हैं, गूंगों की आवाज और बैरों की कविता. थक जाए तो तलवार, बंद हो जाए तो ताकत. ये निवाला भी है और चार्जर है. उड़ जाए तो भगवान दिखा सकते हैं और कभी-कभी दरवाजा.
When I was on Black, I mean, there were times when we all were so struck by what you did. But after 3 days, you're still seeing that shot and you're telling Mr. Bhansali that one beat was wrong, and I clenched my jaw a little too early or too late. And I mean, that precision. I've acted with a lot of actors, and I've also seen a lot of actors work. I don't think anybody has that precision and that desire to get every beat right. That's really something.
I think it worries you when you see the film, and because you're looking for all these little things. Observation is what we live on, really, and somewhere within us there is some kind of a computer that keeps working and observes things, and at some freak point in some film 5 years down the line, that effect comes out. So, like when I see Black now, I hate to see that dining room scene where I'm going to read the letter.
But Amit Uncle, at that moment, I remember, because I was working with Mr. Bhansali on Savarya. That was his next film. So when you read that letter and you get choked, there is a certain movement in your jaw. Mr. Bhansali pointed that out so many times to me, because he's saying, like, apart from being the gifted actor that you're also such a physical actor, who knows to use his muscles and has control over his facial muscles. So I remember that shot so clearly because he ingrained it. As an actor, you should.
This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Do you remember that shot?
I remember the shot for another reason.
Okay.
I remember that shot because of the mistake that I made.
What mistake?
The mistake was that I pull out the letter and I go for my specs and start reading. That was wrong. How do I know that my specs say here if I'm suffering from Alzheimer's?
But you've been too harsh on yourself.
No. I really should have brought out that letter and thought about it and then brought it out. It's just a little moment, but the moment I took the letter, I just went straight to my specs and took it out. That was wrong, and I cursed myself. And I kept telling Sanjay.
I mean, the fact that you have this quality, you are blessed.
Since we're on Black, and a lot of people listening here, he was assisting Sanjay Leela Bhansali on Black. But his main job was to train that little girl who played the blind artist. And if, I will say this, if you have appreciated that little girl, it's all his doing, because he used to sit with her and tell her, you behave like this, you put your eyes like this, and you talk like this. And then she used to do, and then he used to take her away and he used to train her, and then she used to come and give the shot. So if you have appreciated her, it's all his doing.
Thank you. Also, another trivia about Black, I don't think many people know this, that the only person I have body doubled for is you. The shot, which is in the beginning titles, there is a shot of Divash, your character, sitting on the fountain, and because your date was not available.
That was you?
That's me.
Oh, wow.
So I had to pad myself up with some 5 overcoats and with the skull cap, and I had to sit like this, and Rani is running towards me, and she dives. So I have the good privilege to be Amitabh Bachchan for it. It was really awesome.
बिना शब्दों के तुम अंधेरे की दुनिया से कभी बाहर नहीं निकल पाओगे. You will never be able to see the light. She has to learn. उसे ये जानना होगा कि जिसका हाथ पकड़ के गुजर रही है उसका भी एक नाम है. That you are mother. O-T-H-E-R.
I'm coming.
Sit down. Priscilla is deaf and blind. She's not mentally retarded.
What's that one film, Amit Uncle, in your career that if you had to choose, if I had a gun pointed at you and I said you have to choose that one film, which is your favorite film, it's a film which is for all ages.
Yeah.
If you had to choose that one film and that one character, what would that be? And you have to please name this because
I would tell you to use that gun and shoot it.
So that just says
I
you have
really
so
don't
many.
have. It's very tough. I can't choose. I can't choose because not because I feel that I'm belittling the people who made those 200 films with me, and they all went through a huge process of mind thinking, mechanics, technology, writing, living that part, in creating something like that. It would be belittling them.
But it's a gun.
Yeah, I know it's a gun, but so I don't mind dying for that. Shoot me.
Okay, according to me, a lot of people talk about Agnipath, Trishul, Divar, Kabhi Kabhi, Black, Piku. But to me, my favorite two films of yours, or my favorite two characters has been Anthony of Amar Akbar Anthony and Namak Halal. And I think Shweta's favorite also, and we always discuss this.
Oh, really?
So I think comedy is a genre which you were just amazing in. And I don't really see you do a lot of comedy, and Piku was really a refreshing change because you did something light after a long time.
Wait! You see, the whole country of the system is juxtapositioned by the hemoglobin in the atmosphere because you are a sophisticated rhetorician intoxicated by the exuberance of your own babasate.
What? My name is Anthony Gonsalves.
Gonsalves?
Right. My name is Anthony Gonsalves. मैं दुनिया में अकेला हूँ, दिल भी है खाली, घर भी है खाली, इसमें रहेगी कोई किस्मत वाली, आए जिसे मेरी याद आए जब चाहे चली आए, जिसे मेरी याद आए जब चाहे चली आए, रूप महल प्रेम गली खोली नंबर 420.
Excuse me, please.
My name is Anthony Gonsalves.
Really?
Right. मैं दुनिया में अकेला हूँ.
Ranbir Kapoor describes Amitabh Bachchan's character as Anthony as one of his favourites. Hence the reason I felt I should pay tribute just to a small part of that song. Let's go back to the interview.
Do you still enjoy, because now after when a film's released and you get so many messages and now because of social media people are also interacting with you, do you enjoy the praise or you feel like I've heard it now on to the next?
I store every one of them because soon enough when you're unable to walk and you're in this this typical rocking chair that they call, I wish to go there and read them. Yours will be there.
Yeah, but you'll need another lifetime to read everything. No? How will you finish it?
No, it's not that. It's good to keep visiting it. I think technology today has made it very accessible. It's all on just one little computer, and you just press a few buttons, and everything comes down. You can pick and choose, what you want to listen to or what you want to hear and read. But I think it's sometimes it's quite invigorating to be able to read a praise that may have come at the time when you did a performance, but go back several years and then read it. It's like opening an old file where some of your childhood photographs, letters that you wrote to your parents or your parents wrote to you. It's lovely to just go through them. So those are the kind of things that I get. But I want to ask you, Ranbir, that you went to acting school in New York, and I want to know the process of how acting is taught, because I never went there, and I always feel that I have missed out on it. I never knew that there were acting schools. I only came to know about it when I started seeing Jaya, because she came from the institute. What does it do, and what does it do to train you as an actor, or what is the process that you go through?
So to be honest, it's absolutely rubbish, because, like you said, acting is not something that can be taught. And Strasbourg Theatre Institute, it teaches you the method. And you can't really go there and learn the method in 9 months. Yes, subconsciously, you learn something.
Was that how long you were? 9 months?
9 months.
Okay.
So you learn something about sense memory, you learn something about how you...
Sense memory?
Sense memory.
What is that?
And emotional memory. If you're doing a crying scene, there is like, if you remember a smell, and that will take you back to that emotional memory, and you can use that for a scene that you're doing, which is supposed to be a dramatic, emotional scene. So things which actually an intelligent person already knows. If you're acting and if you don't really want to fake it completely, if you're supposed to be sad, you hear some sad music or music that kind of, goes back to, connects you to some moment where you were sad. I'm not saying this because I'm sitting in front of you. My actual acting school was on sets of Black. When I saw you performing and how Bansali was, directing you and how you were responding to it, that's where I really, learned everything. And that's where I just took everything selfishly, how much ever I could. But I wouldn't advise anybody to go to an acting school. I would advise them to go to an Amitabh Bachchan set. I think that's... but you haven't done theatre.
Amateur theatre, everybody's done that kind of stuff. But
so, like acting on stage, would you call that something you would enjoy?
I would, but not now. I won't be able to do it now.
Why not?
Because I'm scared. It's tough to be on theatre. It's very tough. I won't remember my lines. That's to start off with. But
you have an elephant's memory, and
no. It's really tough to be able to do theatre. I admire all the people that do it.
I've seen you learn a 4-page monologue in like 1 hour, and it was word to word. That's another question I always wanted to ask you: is do you always stick to the script, the dialogues, or do you like to improvise?
No, I stick to the script because I just feel that the writer is the most important person in a film. He's not just a writer, he's an actor, he's a director, he's a set designer, and he's a music director. Because when he writes those lines, he imagines everything. And it's the toughest job to do. So if he's written something, he's gone through this entire process, and he's gone through this process with his director, with everyone. And I feel it's very disrespectful to say, hey, this is rubbish. I'm going to say what I feel like saying. I just want to respect that.
So never thought of direction?
Oh, no.
Why not?
I don't know how to direct. I don't know how these people do it.
I mean, to direct is to tell a story, right? And I'm sure you'll have some story to tell us.
No, but to tell a story through a lens, that's tough. How do you know where to put a trolley or a crane, what lens to use, and where to walk? How to tell the artist, I want you to do this here and do this there. I'm unable to do that.
Can you write a story though?
I've never tried.
Never tried. Because it happens to me, that I wake up one day, if I'm going to sleep, I get this really exciting, inspiring idea, and I share it with a couple of people and they react very well to it. And then I just get lazy and I can't take it anywhere because I don't have the knack of writing. Because I think writing is a skill which you're either born with or you're not. You can't really develop it. So that's why I wanted to ask you, did you ever write a story? Did you ever come close to writing a script?
No, but this is a great quality. And I'm glad that you shared this with me because if you do have these moments, I would, even if you're in the middle of the night, just get up, put on the lights, speak it out. Now we have wonderful instruments. Just speak it out, record it. Give it to somebody if you're not writing it. Give it to a friend of yours who is a writer. And say, these are my thoughts. Can you write something on it? And you never know, something very valuable may come out of it.
Presenting a short musical break with this live recording of Amitabh Bachchan performing to the 1991 hit from the film Hum, the playback of Sudesh Bhosle with Kavita Krishnamurti.
चुम्मा चुम्मा दे दे, चुम्मा चुम्मा दे दे, चुम्मा 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 दे दे, चुम्मा चुम्मा दे दे, चुम्मा जुम्मे के दिन किया जुम्मे का वादा, जुम्मे को तोड़ दिया जुम्मे का वादा, ले आ गया रे फिर जुम्मा 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 दे दे, जुम्मा
So you miss singing and dancing with heroines in Ooty and Kashmir and all of that, or You're happy you're done with it?
It's a terrible labor, and I hate it. And because I had to do it as my profession, you know, I've just gone along with it. And there were a couple of incidents in the earlier part of my career when I was asked to do a song, and I was replaced from that film because I couldn't sing, I couldn't dance, I couldn't move. So I think that has remained like a stigma for me. But I hate it when I have to do a song and I have to do movements. And the kind of stuff that you guys do now is impossible. I mean, how can different parts of your body move in different directions?
Well, in Sara
still be in rhythm and
Sara Zamana, Hasino Ka Divana, also different muscles and parts of moving.
Nothing at all. You just had a guitar and just some dark glasses so you don't see anybody. And you're just strumming the guitar and just moving very simple steps.
हसीनों का दीवाना समाना कहे फिर क्यों बुरा है दिल लगाना ए सारा जमाना हसीनों का दीवाना समाना कहे फिर क्यों बुरा है दिल लगाना ए सारा जमाना कौन कह रहा है तू आज प्यार कर ले जो कभी भी खत्म ना हो वो एतबार कर ले कौन कह रहा है तू आज प्यार कर ले जो कभी भी खत्म ना हो वो एतबार कर ले मान ले मेरी बात सारा जमाना हसीनों का दीवाना समाना कहे फिर क्यों बुरा है दिल लगाना ये सारा जमाना कशिश है दिल वही है जिसमें कहीं प्यार की खलिश है दुनिया में क्या कशिश है दिल वही है जिसमें कहीं प्यार की खलिश है मान ले मेरी बात ये सारा जमाना हसीनों का दीवाना समाना कहे फिर क्यों लगाना ला 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 ला.
From the film Yarana of 1981, the voice of Kishore Kumar singing for Amitabh Bachchan, where Amitabh Bachchan had been previously discussing the way he dances. You're listening to BHF Radio. This is a live exclusive program paying tribute to Amitabh Bachchan, who is being interviewed in this particular segment by today's heartthrob, Ranbir Kapoor.
But you know, to watch you doing all your steps, gosh, it's impossible. I can never do that.
So another query I had, or help I needed, is that my personal life is being written a lot about.
Yeah.
And mostly the negative side of it, or they portray me as this cad or this, this flirt or whatever.
Listeners, this is the point of my entire show, which takes the whole content completely round in a circle. So at the beginning of my show, I debated about the actual existence of a relationship between Amitabh Bachchan and Rekha. And this particular question posed by Ranbir Kapoor is one which I feel is rather relevant to the entire debate that I have put on towards the show. Please listen to Amitabh Bachchan carefully on this.
How do I get out of that? Because
that's always going to happen, because negative sells like mad. He's a good boy. He goes home at 6 in the evening. He has his dinner.
The truth.
Sits with his parents and just relaxes.
One sir.
He's a cad. He finished his shooting. He went to see this girl, picked her up. He was drunk. He was doing this. That's headlines. You have to contend with them.
So did you ever have to deal with negative media, like press?
Yeah, I deal with it every day.
Still?
Yeah, even now.
You didn't speak to the media for a long time.
Yeah, because there was this wrong impression that they had that when the emergency was declared, it was I that was responsible for the media ban.
That wasn't true.
No. They claimed that it was true because they said there were certain people that came and said it was because of me, and therefore they banned me. So the ban was like, if there's a film of yours that they're mentioning, then your name won't be there. If you're lucky, they'll put a comma. They would not. We have several photographers here who are taking our photographs. When I went to a function, they would all put their camera on the floor as a
protest.
A protest, and you were not written about. You were not done anything.
But did that make you happy, or did that annoy you?
No. When they did that, I said, fine, I won't talk to them either. So we didn't speak for almost 15 years.
And what's your relationship with the media right now?
It's wonderful. Yeah, I love them.
But
dare I say anything else?
But the thing is, we also live in times when...
But I remember meeting you in London. We were staying in the same hotel.
Right.
You were going out somewhere, and I said, where are you going? And you had a book in your hand. Says, sir, I'm going to sit in this park just outside here and just read. I said, are you mad? You're in London. Why you want to do that? I just want to be in my own space because it's too complicated back there in Bombay. People don't... I can't function there. I mean, they just hound you. And what was that was going through your mind at that time?
I think I was going through a little bit of a personal shift in my life.
Okay.
With an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Okay.
And I was just taking some time off, and the reason why I asked you about being lonely and loneliness is because I really enjoy being with myself. I have the most fun when I'm alone. I know that's not a good thing because you need people in life, and happiness is real only when it's shared and all of that.
But these are just wonderful words. What you're doing is fine.
It's fine, right?
Yeah.
Any memory of Raj Kapoor? Did you ever interact with him? Did you ever meet him?
Oh, yes.
Were you about to work with him?
Yeah. Your family, much before you knew me, and much before you were born, were very close with my father. right from the time of Prithvi Rajji.
Right.
And my mother. And Prithvi Rajji was, with his Prithvi theatres, used to travel all over the country. And every time he came to Allahabad to perform, we would meet up and he would come over to the house. And he was fond of my father's poetry. So after every performance, the whole crew and the cast of the theatre that he was performing in would sit in the green room and would listen. He would call over my father and would listen to his poetry almost throughout the night. That's the kind of association we had. Subsequently, of course, when I wanted to join films, obviously there were many social events where I came to meet Rajji and Shashiji and Shamiji. And always there was a reference and talk about Prithvi Rajji and the old times. So there was always an association.
Right.
But I never got to work with him. I saw him working. But it was the greatest moment when he was a part of a song in Naseeb. And we shot this song together, and it was wonderful. But we kept meeting, and shooting in RK, he was always there. We used to be in awe of the cottage. And his white ambassador car that used to come in, and the way he would get out and get into the cottage. And we used to watch from a distance. And we used to imagine what is inside that cottage. When will I get an opportunity to just go and have a peek inside this place? Or to go up to the preview theatre. And that used to be one of the greatest things. Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, with whom Rajji did a lot of films.
He's also who launched you, right?
Yeah, I did my first film with him. So when he made Saath Hindustani with me, he had a few dubbings to do. And for some reason, he chose to do the dubbing at the RK Preview Theatre. I said, gosh, this is it, boy. This is the ultimate. So first time we actually entered that Preview Theatre.
So dubbing.
And you got an introduction and said, that front couch, don't even touch it, because Rajji sits there when he sees all his films, and this is the editing room where he does the editing. So these are all great moments for us. And then slowly, because we were working in many films and Rajji came to know about me, we started getting invited to the holy ceremonies, and they were absolutely great joy. But now we are together through marriage, and we are relatives.
ये फिल्मों के सितारे ये फिल्मों के सितारे देखो निकले चमक के सारे ये सबका दिल बहलाए मैं इनका दिल बहलाऊं ये सबका दिल बहलाए मैं इनका दिल बहलाऊं हीरोइन से टकराया हीरो को गुस्सा आया हो यारों का मैं यार दुश्मनों का दुश्मन मत धनाधन जान जानी जनार्दन तररम पम 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 अरे जान जानी जनार्दन तररम पम पम पम.
I pay tribute to the only scene in the history of Hindi cinema where the two thespians, Raj Kapoor ji and Amitabh Bachchan, share one frame and one scene.
Obviously I never did a film with him, and of course we used to meet. And I remember that the first time I was able to enter the cottage was, we had, there was some celebration because a minister was coming to RK Studios. So we were all gathered in the lawn outside floor number 1. And then he came and we all met, and Raji came and met him. And then Raji said to this minister, I think we'll go and sit separately. And they were walking towards the cottage, and he just turned and said, Amitabh, you come? So I was, shocked, invited me. So just 3 of us entering this cottage. I entered for the first time. And for the first time, I saw this room of his where all his genius apparently came out from. There's just a very low masnad that is there, and nothing else.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised. All white, and a very low masnad. And he used to just sit down on the floor. And then he said to the minister, I would like you to meet Amitabh. He is the tallest in our industry. And I know what he meant, but I said, yes, sir, but only in height. And these are some of the moments that you always remember.
Will you ever let anybody make a biopic on you?
No.
And will you ever...
It would be the most boring biopic.
But what if,
ever.
are there some classified files that you open about your life?
There are some what?
There are some classified files about your life, about, you as a person, about certain incidents. Would you ever let the world see that?
But there is nothing.
Nothing?
No.
How's that possible?
And if there are people that, wish to write about it, they are most free to do so.
But they can't, right?
I can't use that.
But unless they have your permission, they won't be able to make a film, a biopic on your life.
No. I would never allow that.
You wouldn't allow it?
No.
Would you ever write an autobiography?
Never going to do that.
Never. Would you see your blogs in a way, is that?
It's just an occupational hazard for me now. Because if I don't write that blog, I get 1,000 people down my throat. Where the heck are you? Why haven't you come on? Have you gone to sleep? Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten to press the right button? All this thing keeps coming on SMS, on internet to me, and I have to respond to it. So even if it's 2, 3, 4, whatever, I sit down and write it. But autobiographies are horrid.
So you wouldn't allow anybody to make an autobiography about you?
There is nothing to make. I mean, there are people, they've written books and stuff and articles and all kinds of things.
Right.
But that's not me.
Have you ever done a biopic?
No.
You've never enacted any real person's life? No. And my last question is, when will I get the opportunity to work with you? Because I don't know.
Yeah, there are some waves and rumors going around that we may be working together. I hope we do, Ranbir, because I'm waiting to get a lesson in acting from you.
Thank you so much for this unforgettable experience.
Thank you.
I'll cherish this all my life.
Thank you.
And there we conclude that live conversation between Ranbir Kapoor and Amitabh Bachchan. I leave you with some excerpts from the 1990 concert from Wembley Stadium once again, Chumma Chumma live in concert, and I present to you a live medley of Amitabh Bachchan performing to his favourite tracks, Chumma Chumma live in London 1990. By far one of the best live performances of Amitabh Bachchan to date.
निशाने पे जा कदमों में तेरे निकले मेरा दम है बस यही अरमान देखा ना हारे सोचा ना हारे रख दी निशाने पे जा कदमों में तेरे निकले मेरा दम है बस यही अरमान अरे ओ
सोचा ना हारे रख दी निशाने पे जान कदमों में तेरे निकले मेरा दम है बस यही अरमान कातिल है कौन कहा नहीं जाए चुप भी तो राह नहीं जाए बुलबुल है कौन कौन सैयार कुछ तो कहो मेरी जान और कातिल है कौन कहा नहीं जाए चुप भी तो राह नहीं जाए बुलबुल है कौन कौन सैयार कुछ तो कहो मेरी जान अरे हो ना हारे रख दी निशाने पे जान कदमों में तेरे निकले मेरा दम है बस यही अरमान और देखा ना हारे सोचा ना हारे रख दी निशाने पे जान कदमों में तेरे निकले मेरा दम है बस यही अरमान
Thank you. What a beautiful audience. Thank you. It's been 7 years since I came to London on stage, and you guys haven't changed at all. All right? Once more, all right? Once more, all right? Woo! Let's see those hands clapping now, come on! Ho chola ganga kinare bala ho chola ganga kinare bala भाई के पान बनारस वाला खुल जाए बंद या कल का ताला फिर तो ऐसा करे कमाल सीधी कर दे सबकी चाल हो छोरा गंगा किनारे वाला हो छोरा गंगा किनारे वाला मारी पिचकारी तोरी किन्ने मारी पिचकारी तोरी भीगी अंगिया रंग रसिया रंग पर से भीगे चुनर वाली 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 रंग पर से सोने की थारी में जो ना भरोसा सोने की थारी में जो ना भरोसा सोने की थारी में सोने की थारी में जो ना परोसा अरे खाए गोरी का यार पलम तर से रंग पर से भीगे चुनर वाली रंग पर से भीगे चुनर वाली रंग पर से भीगे चुनर वाली रंग पर से
घुंघरू बांध मीरा नाची थी के पग घुंघरू बांध मीरा नाची थी और हम नाचे बिन घुंघरू के पग घुंघरू बांध मीरा नाची थी। वो तीर भला किस काम का है जो तीर निशाने से झुके 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 रे के पग घुंघरू बांध मीरा नाची थी पग घुंघरू बांध मीरा नाची थी पग घुंघरू बांध मीरा नाची थी नाची थी नाची थी नाची थी अपना बना ले मोरे बाल माँ गोरी है कलाइया बना दूं तुझे हरी हरी चूड़ियाँ अपना बना ले मोरे बाल माँ गोरी है कलाइया आते जाते काटे काहे रास्ता तू मेरा यहाँ काहे मेरे गले पड़ जाए चूड़ी पहनाने वाले और भी है छोरे यहाँ भी माँ तेरे झांसे में न आए गोरी है कलाइया पहना दूं तुझे हरी हरी चूड़ियाँ अपना बना ले मोरे बाल माँ गोरी है कलाइया पड़ोस ने अपनी मुर्गी के रखना संभाल मेरा मुर्गा हुआ है दीवाना पड़ोस ने अपनी मुर्गी के रखना संभाल मेरा मुर्गा हुआ है दीवाना रखना संभाल रखना संभाल रखना संभाल रखना संभाल पड़ोस ने अपनी मुर्गी के रखना संभाल मेरा मुर्गा हुआ है दीवाना अरे चोंच में मुर्गी का पर हाय 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 अरे चोंच में मुर्गी का पर आधा इधर आधा इधर दो दिलों पे है असर आधा इधर आधा उधर अरे मुर्गा मुर्गी का दीवाना और मैं दीवाना तेरा हूँ तेरा हूँ तेरा अरे इसीलिए तो मैं कहता हूँ इसीलिए तो मैं कहता हूं कि प्लीज 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 ये पड़ोस ने अपनी मुर्गी के रखना संभाल का हुआ है दीवाना पड़ोस ने अपनी मुर्गी के रखना संभाल मेरा मुर्गा हुआ है दीवाना Everybody, Matilda, 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 you make me moody and run for the data. Matilda.
And listeners, that's all I have time for today. I hope that you have thoroughly enjoyed listening to this show the way that I've had producing this show. I will be catching up with you at 10 o'clock next Saturday with more of Divash's Bollywood Bites. But in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Keep safe, enjoy your week, and alvida, goodbye for now.